Hey guys, welcome to another video. So last week we talked a lot about business communication skills. How can you enhance your business communication skills to build a successful career and long-lasting relationship? We talked about assertive, aggressive, and submissive behavior, and I gave you some tips on how to switch your behavior to a completely and totally assertive behavior in order to build successful relationships. Then we talked about the three types of communication, which are verbal, non-verbal, and graphic communication. So we just described them a little bit, and I told you about the importance of applying them successfully. And now I want to share with you other 3 additional top tips that will help you to build, generally speaking, good relationship at work, create a very good impact on everything that you're doing that include communication skills, and just feeling more confident about your communication skills. So the tip number 1, which is absolutely important for everything that you're doing about communication, is always bear in mind who is your audience. You need to know who is your audience, what they want to hear, what's the core value that you want to transmit to them, and what they are expecting you to tell them in that specific occasion. So understanding how to talk to your audience, it means understanding the level of formality, so the type of language, registered language that you have to use with them, or the type of engagement they're expecting from you to see. So this depends really on the type of the audience you have. If you have an audience which is very senior, so executive level management, you probably need to build a very engaging presentation, which is not too long, and you need to talk to them with a registered language, so keywords and choice of language that it's very formal and very expert. These people you're talking to are expert people, most likely in your field, in your industry. So they're expecting to see your seniority and your experience in that specific industry. Or sometimes you can have a not expert type of audience. So you probably have a more junior audience or people that don't know what you're talking about. You are pitching your product. You are trying to sell your product. So it's very important that you use a type of language and type of communication skills that it's very middle way, so between formal and informal, that it's very engaging, that you probably use visual in your PowerPoint or supporting visual yes that you are using for that presentation that can really build engagement, but also enforce and boost a little bit of understanding on that topic, because the people you are talking to are not very expert of that industry. So very important, try to ask yourself some key questions. For example, when you are writing the PowerPoint or you're writing your script, your pitch, ask yourself what these people are expecting from me. So what they want to hear, what they really want to take home, key insights, key elements from this presentation, after attending this presentation. And so from that point, you start and you build your message, your pitch, starting from these key elements. So tip number 2, active listening through the define and clarify. What is the define and clarify method? It's basically, don't just wait for your moment to talk, for your moment to reply to your receiver, to your audience, to your part of conversation. Let them talk, let them explain everything, try to be present totally with your mind there to understand what they want to say. Try to put yourself in their shoes to really understand their point, their key message, and then try to apply the define and clarify methodology, which is basically summarizing what they just said through key questions. An example of the define and clarify method, it could be, okay, John, so I see what you mean. So you're basically suggesting that we move the deadline for the project to next Friday. Is that correct? So you're just summarizing and repeating what he just explained, and that really boosts trust, engagement, and John will be very happy to see that you were there, that you were present, and you are not just waiting for your time to answer and to provide your feedback. Tip number 3, very important for written communication. You can apply the sandwich formula in order to provide constructive feedback through written communication, so through emails. So what is the sandwich formula? Like a real sandwich, we basically have 3 layers, and we have a start layer, so a first layer where we deliver a very positive opening sentence, where we say something very encouraging, very motivating. about, like recalling just like a previous experience. So it could be, hi, Alex, thank you so much for our meeting today. Yesterday, it was so successful and so inspiring. I think we really started with the right foot for this project. So you are saying something positive, something which is very motivating and something that really open the email in a very effective way. In the middle, we have the feedback that we have to provide. It could be just a general information, nothing difficult with that, or it could be something negative sometimes, something that it's a little bit of a pain point for your receiver. So it's very important that here we say everything that we want to say, of course. It's super important that we are effective in our feedback, but it's also very important that we choose wisely our type of language. So just put yourself in the other shoes and think about, like, how would I react if I would receive an email like this one? Like, how would I react if I would read such a sentence or such a key feedback, which is very harsh, or that has this type of, harsh words or this type of words. So sometimes what I basically suggest to my clients, to my students, is to pause 1 second, leave the email there, and then return after 1 hour and try to read with a fresh mind, with a fresh approach, that email, and try to understand if it does sound too harsh, too much. Try to put yourself in their shoes and understand, how would I feel if I received an email like this one? In that moment, you can really adjust your feedback middle part to make it, of course, very effective, very straightforward, but still very nice and kind. And then you close your email with the end, so the third layer, which is basically just something, again, very appreciative, something positive that can just give a little bit of reward and a little bit of appreciation to the receiver. So it could be something, however, the meeting was very productive. I think we are all on track to start this project in a very impactful way, in a very effective way, and I can't wait what the future is, creating for us, will be creating for us, or will be for us for this project. So you basically say everything you have to say, but it's just how you say it that changes everything. As you know, in one of my latest videos, I talked a lot about how you say. Sometimes it's more important on what you say. So nonverbal communication and the type of, body movement and language, and also the type of words that you choose, how you structure an email, are super important in order to deliver an effective email that is not too harsh, that is not too, weak, and that can really generate an impact that we call a constructive impact, constructive feedback. So this was my third tip about the sandwich format for written communication. This was my video for today. So drop a comment or tell me what you think about it, and I'll see you next. Bye.